Welcome to another edition of High School 912 Roundup. I'm Terry Norvell, joined, of course, by Justin Barney. Justin, we find ourselves at Baldwin with a unique rivalry between these two teams.
You know, Baldwin Episcopal is not a rivalry that you expect to develop. They're just not natural rivals, not district rivals. For the last couple years, we've seen these teams spar in some very good games. Last year, they split in this series, and they're renewing that rivalry now.
We've got a lot of stuff on tap, including we'll get deeper into the rivalry. Of course, we'll have a spotlight interview. Other things we'll do, hey, it's Carlyon from 1010XL will bring us a piece of history. We'll give you an academic tip of the week, of course, and a tradition that we have, of course, at the end, we will talk to a winning football coach. But speaking of Episcopal, Justin, Mark Brunell, great football player. How's he done as a coach?
Yeah, when you think of the name Mark Brunell, it's Jacksonville Jaguars, first quarterback in franchise history that really made a name for himself, carried the team to the AFC Championship game. That's what you think about when you think of Mark Brunell. His second career has been as a football coach, so he's entering his 8th season at Episcopal. You know, and I remember interviewing him right after he got hired, and I asked him, would kids look at him as Mark Brunell, the quarterback of the Jaguars? Would their parents look at him? And he said, I guarantee you, by the time I'm done with my first practice, these guys aren't going to be looking at me as anything but coach. He has kept it going. First season was a little bit rough. They were 2-8. Next year they bounced back with an 8-win season. Last year, the first win in Episcopal playoff history in the playoffs. A great, kind of a great finish. I thought his best team was in 2016. That was JoJo Brunell's quarterback. Really good team. Baselli's on there. But last year, very good season for Mark and the Eagles.
Now, on the other sideline, when you call for Coach Shields at Baldwin, you better be more specific, Justin.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Steve Shields was the former coach at Baldwin. He stepped down after a great 2018 season, a 9-win season for the Baldwin Indians. He stepped down. His brother took over. So Robert Shields running the show now at Baldwin. He's had back-to-back a good start this year and a great season last year. So Baldwin building a little bit of a tradition under the Shields family lineage out here.
Time now for our High School 912 Community Spotlight, of course, brought to you by Duval Motor Company. Here is Alan Verlander.
Thanks, Terry, and welcome to the High School 912 Community Spotlight, presented by Duval Motor Company. Today's guest is Eric Mann. You might know him, probably do if you're on a golf course. You probably have seen him play a little bit. But Eric is the CEO of First Coast YMCA here. Thanks for joining us today.
Great to be here. Thanks for inviting me, Alan.
So you're a big partner with High School 912. As we launched this a couple years ago, you and I sat down, and it's a part of, really, it embodies the YMCA mission. Why is it important to you, this partnership?
Well, how do we continue to engage young people? And you think about high school sports, you think about high schoolers, and so we deal a lot with grade school children, and then they grow up to high schoolers, and then we kind of lose connection. And so this is one of the ways that we can stay connected, stay involved, not only with them from a sports standpoint, but really the values that 912 brings to the young people through high school and through a lot of the work that they do.
So one of the projects that we've been working on is in this virtual day and time, we're now doing an ACT-SAT boot camp.
When I was coming up, it was the SAT, and now it's ACT, the SAT, but it's really looking at how do we continue to help young people with that journey, whether they want to go to college or wherever they want to go, and also do it in a way that allows them to stay safe and still get the kind of services and support they need, along with obviously what they get from 912 and other activities.
And so through this whole pandemic and everything, y'all have had to do a lot of reshuffling and a lot of different things. Talk about some of your new initiatives. I know Learning Labs is really coherent with the education space, but talk about some of the other new initiatives that you have going on with the YMCA.
We have these Learning Labs that has Wi-Fi, it's socially distant. We have an assistant there that helps them as they go through their day and going through their curriculum online. And so they really get a full rounded experience.
How do you support the YMCA? How can people get involved with the YMCA? If you're not a member, become a member, but there's other ways to get involved. So how do you get involved?
We have sustaining members. Our sustaining members are those who donate their time and their dollars. We have members who are utilizing our programs, and we still We have quite a few are doing that. We have all those ways for people to get engaged. It's really looking at working a little bit different, but doing the same thing. Is how do we engage the community to help them reach their goals and also continue to build a stronger Jacksonville.
So that's a High School 912 Community Spotlight presented by Duval Motor Company. We're going to now throw it to Hayes Carlyon for the historic throwback presented by the CSI companies.
Thank you, Alan. I'm so thrilled to bring you this week's High School 912 Roundup's historical look back as we honor former Ribault girls basketball point guard Shante Stevens. You might remember Stevens as Dorian Williams during her amazing prep career. The 5'7" Stevens is simply one of the most dominant athletes I've ever seen in their respective sport. She couldn't be guarded, and the Trojans seemingly couldn't be defeated. Stevens was the first girls basketball player from the area to make the prestigious McDonald's All-American team. She earned City Player of the Year honors all 4 years, one of just 3 athletes to ever accomplish that feat here locally. With Stevens running the show, Ribault won the state championship in all 4 seasons. The Trojans were a combined 143-3 during her time and had a state record 101-game winning streak. In her junior season, Stevens averaged 21.1 points, 5.7 rebounds, 8.7 assists, and 5.9 steals, earning top honors in the state as Florida's Miss Basketball. Stevens finished her remarkable prep career with 2,780 points. Stevens signed with FSU in 2003 and would go on to make the All-ACC team as a freshman. Stevens finished her collegiate career ranking 3rd in program history in assists with 447 and 10th in steals with 199. Stevens is back at her alma mater today, coaching the program she led to such great heights. Stevens certainly had an amazing career, and we're thankful her legend was born in Northeast Florida. After the break, back with Terry and Justin on the field.
High School 912 Roundup is brought to you by CSI Company, Duval Motor Company, and Bono's Barbecue.
CSI, headquartered in Jacksonville, is a nationally recognized staffing company with 4 divisions: CSI Professional, CSI Healthcare IT, CSI Tech, and CSI Financial.
The industry has changed a lot through technology, but in reality, it's still people business. The client wants a particular type of person for a particular type of job, and it's our job to find the right fit for that client.
We have a strategic approach, so it's not just about sending candidates your way. It's learning your culture, your environment, the type of people that work well in that environment, and try to find the talent that's the right fit for you the first time.
For CSI, we want to develop a long-term relationship, and we have a lot of salespeople that are still working with the same clients all these years later because they work hard, they do a great job, but they've built that relationship over time.
We've been around for 25 years now, and the fundamentals of our success are our people. That's what this is all about. We're a people business, so we're here to stay.
Being a high school student isn't easy, and sometimes all they need is just a little help. That's the goal of Jacksonville High School 912. We are committed to furthering the success of the entire student in academics, sports, and life. To collaborate and support high school students and athletes to reach their dreams and increase their chances for success after graduation. Jacksonville High School 912. Academics, sports, life. Established by Airstream Ventures.
Back on High School 912 Roundup, Terry Norvell with Justin Barney, and it is time for Justin, your news and notes presented by Powering America.
Yeah, each week we talk a little bit about more than the game going on behind us. We're going to talk about those news and notes going on right now.
Some good news and notes this week. Start off with boys basketball. 2 of the best in our area. Debo Dallin Coleman from West Nassau and Alex Fudge from Lee. Both those guys ranked in the top 57 in the country by ESPN, and they are going to go to the McDonald's All-American Game Evaluation event. So we've only had 5 guys in area history make the McDonald's All-American Game. So just being in the conversation to go to that game is pretty impressive from our guys. West Nassau's Dallin Coleman, he's ranked number 34 in the country, a 4-star shooting guard. Should eclipse that 2,000 point mark this season. He averaged 25.8 a game last year, and that 2,000 point mark has kind of been the hallowed territory for area basketball stars. Alex Fudge has had a good career at Lee. He really came into his own last year, number 57 in the country by ESPN, The wing averaged 16 points and 9.9 rebounds a game last year. Really kind of came into his own last year, I thought. We switched gears to NFL this weekend. Tight end Hayden Hurst of Bowles. He plays with the Atlanta Falcons now. He did 8 catches, 110 yards in his first season with the Falcons, but 42-yard touchdown grab against Dallas in week 2. We all know what happened in that game, but great performance by Hayden Hurst. It's only his second game with his new team in Atlanta. Jacob Johnson, a fullback from Ribault. He only played his senior season at Ribault, so it's pretty cool. He came over here from Germany, and pretty big prospect over in Germany, but coaches in college wanted to see how he fared in American football against American competition. So he came over, played 1 season at Ribault, went to Tennessee, and last year signed with New England as part of the International Pathway Program. So he spent last season on the Patriots roster, and this past week, 1-yard TD grab for the former Trojans player. Last but not least, cornerback Darius Williams from the Los Angeles Rams. He's a Creekside graduate. He had a crunch time interception on Sunday for the Rams in a 37-19 win over the Eagles. He's got 5 tackles and a pass defended this season. There you have it. Debo Dowen Coleman, Alex Fudge, Hayden Hurst, Jacob Johnson, and Darius Williams, the headliners of our news and notes this week.
As always, wonderful news and notes, Justin. Great job. Now we welcome on set Dr. Denise Hall, the principal at Baldwin High School. And Dr. Hall, boy, uniqueness. The entire school looked to you to put the plan. That must have been a challenge.
It is, because you're in new territory. We've been opening schools, I've been in schools 34 years, and we've seen nothing like this. So it's one day at a time, moving forward and making sure kids are educated.
Dr. Hall, when you talk about fall sports, football is what unites and galvanizes a community. Baldwin's had a pretty good little run of success behind not one Shields brother, but 2.
Yes, very much so, and it's a lot of fun.
And it's this rivalry with Episcopal is something new. Last year you saw him twice, and you see him again this year pretty early.
That is true, and with some success last year, and we hope more success this year.
Dr. Hall, your resume is so impressive, and boy, a lot of this side of the county. You spent a lot of time on the Westside and out here now at Baldwin. How'd that happen?
Gosh, I can't tell you how that happened. One school at a time, but yes, I am very fortunate to have served this community for 34 years.
Now, I'm assuming proud University of Florida graduate, you must be really excited that we're just about to kick off SEC football.
Listen, I'm one lucky woman. Friday night, Baldwin Indian football, Saturday, Gator football. Getting any better than that.
We appreciate your time. We really do, and thanks for having us out on your wonderful campus. With that, we go from the principal to the academic tip of the week. Kennedy Talley working hard. Here is that tip brought to you by Florida State College of Jacksonville.
Thanks, Terry. This week, I'm excited to share with you our tip of the week brought to you by Florida State College at Jacksonville. This is a tip that I used in high school and I still use today. When studying or organizing your notes, use colorful highlighters. Some students think that using colorful Sharpies to highlight text are just for aesthetic reasons. In reality, highlighters are necessary to emphasize key points from your lectures and books. A 2017 study states that using a highlighter improves the learning efficiency of students as it speeds up reading while promoting retention. Using highlighters is an effective study technique to prepare for quizzes and exams. Memorizing different concepts from multiple subjects will tire you out, but when you incorporate colorful pens or highlighters, scanning your notes becomes much easier and streamlined. This is Kennedy Talley with High School 912 Roundup. Back to you, Terry.
Thanks a lot, Kennedy. We appreciate that. We'll take a quick break. On the other side, Kaylee Whitehead with another Kaylee's Corner.
Being a high school student isn't easy, and sometimes all they need is just a little help. That's the goal of Jacksonville High School 912. We are committed to furthering the success of the entire student in academics, sports, and life. To collaborate and support high school students and athletes to reach their dreams and increase their chances for success after graduation. Jacksonville High School 912, academics, sports, life. Established by Airstream Ventures.
Welcome back to High School 912 Roundup. Time now to turn the show over to Kaylee Whitehead. Here's another edition of her Kaylee's Corner.
Thanks, Terry. I'm with cross-country coach Kevin Curran at Bishop Kenny High School, home of the Katie Caples Invitational for over the last 20 years.
In 1998, Katie Caples was a runner here and tragically died in a car accident. So that following fall, they renamed the Greater Jackson Invite the Katie Caples Invitational in her honor. And since then, we've been raising awareness with the Katie Caples Foundation and helping them out. I was a freshman when Katie passed away, so it was definitely something that was very poignant for me at the time. Coming back here as a cross-country coach, really, it was something that personally to me made a big impression. So I wanted to make the event as big and as memorable for her honor as possible. It's one of the more competitive races in Northeast Florida, so we always have top teams in the states from all classifications, teams traveling from Miami, Orlando, Panhandle. That'll even be true this year, but obviously the grand idea for it is to raise awareness and honor Katie. And the Katie Caples Foundation really focuses on organ donor awareness, which when Katie passed away, she donated all of her organs and helped save 5 lives.
Keep out for the Katie Caples Invitational, Saturday, September 26th in the evening. For High School 912 Roundup, I'm Kaylee Whitehead.
Let's take a look at the elite girls and boys team rankings for the race. Lots of local teams in the top 5. The Bowles girls at number 1, as you see. Over on the boys' side, Bartram Trail is sitting in the top spot. Speaking of sitting in the top spot, this guy next to me is raring to go with some highlights. Take it away.
Yeah, Terry, week 4 we are into, and we've got a bunch of great games, a bunch of great highlights to show you. On the west side of Jacksonville, Columbia making the trip up from Lake City. They come to Trinity Christian. Fans ready to cheer the Tigers on. Second quarter, Columbia trailing 13-6. Cade Jackson finds Jaden Williams. It was just about a foot short of the end zone there. Next play, Cade Jackson again goes back to Williams for a touchdown. Just over a minute left in the half. 14-13, Tigers lead. Third quarter, Fighting Tigers back on offense. Ty Wanger, quarterback. This time he finds Marcus Peterson. Breaks a bunch of tackles on his way to the end zone. Touchdown gave Columbia a 21-13 lead, but Trinity Christian not to be denied. They come back in the fourth quarter. 28-21 win for the Conference. Jackson taking a trip to Powers Avenue to play the Wolfson Wolfpack. Tigers with the ball first. At the Wolfpack 40, Jonathan Jackson around the right end, into the secondary, finally dragged down at the Wolfson 15. Play goes for 25. Next play, Fred Gaines takes the handoff. He's around the left side to the edge. Ball's in for the touchdown. 7-0 Jackson. They would go on to win big in this game, 44-8. Good old-fashioned Gateway Conference throwdown. Lee in the blue at Mandarin in the corral. Here come the Mustangs. First drive of the game. Trey Lawrence finds Devon Lewis. He is tackled down inside the 15. After the big play, the Generals defense stood tall, getting a stop on fourth down. Elijah Harris with the sack. Not a lot of offense early in this one, but Lee comes back and wins 25-20. Another good one in the Gateway Conference. Senior day at Ribault. Sandalwood in the white tops, Ribault in the black. Saints on the board first. Ty McNeil down the middle to a wide open Nick Brown for the touchdown. 6-0 Sandalwood in the second quarter. Saints at the 1. McNeil sneaks it in for the score. 13-0 Sandalwood. Ribault would come back in this one, and it turned into a good one. Sandalwood Saints hold on 27-26. St. Augustine and Bartram Trail. The second quarter game tied at 7. Brody Davis at quarterback for the Bears. He finds Eli Sutherland for a first down deep in the red zone. And that drive stalled. David Kemp came in, nailed a 20-yard field goal. Bears up 10-7. They would go on to win this game 35-21. Bartram lost the first 19 games in this series. They have won 3 in a row over the Yellow Jackets. University Christian in the white jerseys over to Oakleaf in the black. Opening kickoff. Kobe Bates to the house. There he goes. Just like that, Oakleaf is on top, 7-0. Ensuing kickoff, the Knights go for the onside kick, and it works. Oakleaf recovers, and that leads to this. Walter Simmons the third to Bates, second touchdown of the first quarter. It's 14-0 Oakleaf, and the Knights roll from there, 45-28 Oakleaf. Creekside taking on number 1 Bowles. Homecoming at Bowles, too. Late first half, Creekside running back Preston Strope around the right end and in for the score, 14-7 Knights at half. Second half, here come the Bulldogs. Daniel Plummer looking for Jack Goodrich. Goes through his hands, and Spencer Surface snatches the tip, and he is headed the other way for Bowles. Takes it all the way, and the game 14-all. Later in the quarter, 17-14 Creekside. Gunnar Boyd to Davis Ellis in the flat. Jukes 4 defenders, and he is gone. 50-yard touchdown, 21-17 Bowles. End of the quarter, Plummer going deep again, and this time Goodrich catches it behind everyone. 65-yard touchdown, 24-21 Creekside. Bowles sends it into overtime, and lo and behold, Creekside with a 31-24 win in overtime knocks off area number 1 Bowles in a classic. What a great Friday night of football games and highlights. Another one in the books.
Great job again, Justin. We appreciate all of your hard work. Now, stay with us. We will have, of course, the winning coach and a star player coming up, but we need to take a quick moment and pass along our condolences to the Stanton Prep community. They lost one of their students last week, William Kirkland, last week. This is a drawing from one of William's classmates.
CSI, headquartered in Jacksonville, is a nationally recognized staffing company with 4 divisions: CSI Professional, CSI Healthcare IT, CSI Tech, and CSI Financial.
The industry has changed a lot through technology, but in reality, it's still people business. The client wants a particular type of person for a particular type of job, and it's our job to find the right fit for that client.
We have a strategic approach, so it's not just about sending candidates your way. It's learning your culture, your environment, the type of people that work well in that environment, and try to find the talent that's the right fit for you the first time.
For CSI, we want to develop a long-term relationship, and we have a lot of salespeople that are still working with the same clients all these years later because they work hard, they do a great job, but they've built that relationship over time.
We've been around for 25 years now, and the fundamentals of our success are our people. That's what this is all about. We're a people business, so we're here to stay.
Back on set now with Baldwin head coach Shields and one of his great defensive linemen, Dale Walker. Coach, I'll start with you. A 10-point win, but boy, that thing was a lot closer until you wiggled a long pass to stretch it out.
Oh, yeah. We knew it was going to be close. We haven't had a close game all year. We've gone triple overtime. I guess it's week 2, but it was our first week. Our second game, we had to stop West Nassau on a drive where they were trying to come back and beat us. So 10 points is pretty big for us. Actually pulled that play out of last year's playbook. We hadn't run that in practice at all. But it was like, you know what, we looked at the tent. We've got the huddle sideline where you can see it. And said, you know what, let's just go for it. And we ran it, and it worked to perfection. So sometimes you get lucky.
Coach, big win. That moves you to 3-0. University Christian is next.
Oh, it doesn't get any easier. But, I mean, if you want to be good, you got to work. Got to play good people.
Let me bring in your big-time defensive lineman, Dale Walker. Dale, thanks for your time. I know you're ready to get out and celebrate. Boy, a couple of big late-game sacks really held on for the win there. Talk about those sacks.
It was hard. 6-3, he kept chopping me, but got past that.
And you ended up, I guess, with 3 on your ledger tonight. Pretty good night.
Yes, sir.
And the win.
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, I know you guys are ready to get going. Long, stressful game. Thank you very much for your time, as we will thank the guys and everybody at Baldwin for great hospitality. Now, next week we take it to Clay County. Orange Park will host Ridgeview. We'll take the show to OP. Don't miss that. Speaking of next week, a good schedule of games presented by CSI Companies. You see here a ton of good games. Get out and see a high school game if you're in the area. We will wrap things up. For Justin Barney and in the entire production crew, I'm Terry Norvell. We want to thank all of our guests as well. As we get out of here, one final look around the final scoreboard. A lot of good games tonight. Thank you to Baker's Sports and the YMCA.
High School 912 would like to say thank you to all of our proud partners.